you guys believe that it's March already? I am so excited because this month is going to be seed starting madness, if you know what I mean. A lot of the seeds that I am going to be growing for my own garden are going to start this month, but also a big chunk that I am starting for my seedling sale are also going to start this month, and I cannot wait to show you what all of that is. Today I'm just going to show you a couple of things that are already going. I am going to be sharing with you how I start my Verbena bonariensis. I don't believe that I am going to be growing Verbena bonariensis for myself. I do have an area where I left all of my Verbena bonariensis go to seed, and I am sure that those are going to come back. But most of the Verbena bonariensis that I am going to be growing from seed this year is going to be for the seedling sale, because those were very popular last year, and those were probably the first things that sold out. But I believe that I only had one tray. So this year I'm making 2, maybe possibly 3 trays, depending how many seeds germinate here. But also I'm going to be starting coleus. So let me start with the Verbena bonariensis. These 2 things that I have here is where I am growing my Verbena bonariensis. If you are wondering what all of this is, I just took these guys out of the freezer. Yesterday, I came here, I mix my regular 4Bs potting mix that I use. I place some here. This guy has drainage holes at the bottom here, and I place a bunch of Verbena bonariensis here. I applied a layer of vermiculite. I am using a little bottom tray. And I make sure to give them plenty of water. I use my sprayer and I gave them plenty of water. I grab a Ziploc bag. I sealed it and I put it in the freezer. I actually have 2 containers here because I wanted to have plenty of seeds, but I also realized that these are kind of small for all the seeds that I wanted to germinate. So I made 2, same thing, and I put them in the freezer for 24 hours. Now that was yesterday, so I just took them literally a few minutes ago. I just took them out of the freezer, and this is how they look like. Now what I'm going to do next is that I am going to kind of just keep this a little bit open like that, not completely open, but just unseal. And these guys are going to go somewhere here in my grow room, not necessarily underneath the lights right away, because these have not germinated yet, so they don't really need light at this moment. But I'm not going to keep them in a dark room either. The package, the kind of seeds that I'm growing is this type of Verbena bonariensis, and the instructions on the back said not to cover the seed completely. It says just to barely cover the seed, so that's what I did with the vermiculite. I applied a very thin layer of it, and that's how they went into my freezer for 24 hours. They're going to stay here in this room for the next few days. The only thing that I am going to be keeping an eye on is to make sure that these guys have plenty of moisture, and hopefully here in a few days these guys will be showing signs of germination. Now when I see that happen, when I see signs of germination, that's when they need the light. That's when they're going to go under my LED lights right away, and hopefully here in a few weeks I'll be dividing these guys into bigger containers. And what I'll probably do, just like I did last year, is that I am going to be moving the germinated plants from here to here, probably 2 to 3 plants per container, because that's how I did last year, and I like how well they did. And they're going to be here for a little bit, for a few weeks, and then once they're big enough, I'll move them into something like this size. This is the size that I am going for. This is the final size for my seedling sale that I want to have most of my seeds this year. Last year, my Verbena bonariensis was one that had one of the bigger containers. I believe these were the 3.5 inch. These are 2.5. This is the size that I'm going for most everything. So that's the plan with Verbena bonariensis. But if you're starting Verbena bonariensis and you don't do anything to the seeds and you have great results, that's awesome. I'm happy for you. But if you're one of those people that don't have germination or don't have really good germination with just placing the seeds like that. Try putting them in the freezer. Try placing them in a wet matter, in a wet potting mix or seed starting mix, whatever you use, and put them in the freezer for at least 24 hours. And then you'll see how well the germination goes. I mean, fingers crossed. This is exactly what I did last year. Same thing, same containers, same size, and I had amazing germination. I am going to make a quick pause on this video to let you know that we have a private and free Facebook group where people that love to start from seed, want to start from seed, have been doing it for all their life, can join and share, help others, join the conversation. But mainly it's a place for a small community of people like you and me that enjoy sharing the things that are growing in their grow rooms. If you want to join, this is your invitation. Make sure to answer all of the questions before joining. If you don't, you may get declined right away. Hopefully, I'll see you there soon. Now, coleus seeds, I don't really have to do anything for them. I don't have to do any sort of treatment for the seeds. They germinate really, really well. I am going to be studying a few varieties. My favorite is Mighty Mosaic coleus. I grow these guys. I have been growing them for quite a few years. And when it came time to decide last year what coleus varieties to do for the seedling sale, Mighty Mosaic was also a winner, and it sold really, really well. I actually sold all of the 3 varieties that I had last year. Last year I did Mighty Mosaic, I did Chocolate Mint, and then I did Lime Delight. I sold pretty much all of them except a few of the Lime Delight that I had left. I may not do some of these. I'm going to grow some of them, but I don't know that I'm going to be selling them. But the new variety that I'm going to add this year is this paprika variety, and it's like a nice color, nice red rusty color. I got these seeds from pine trees. All of these actually got from pine trees. They just really have great germination, and I find the type that I want there all the time. But also I have these leftover seeds from a couple of years ago, and these are velvet red. I'm going to try to grow a few of these varieties. I don't know how well they're going to germinate, but if they do, I'll just add them to the sale. My goal for the seedling sale this year is to do the same amount of coleus, 3 trays. That's really all I think that I can do for coleus. And last year I started my coleus in the middle of February, and that is perfect time for me to get really big plants. Like I said, this year I am trying to get all of my seedlings in this size, the 2.5 size. They just make more sense for me, for my growing space, and it allows me to grow more plants. And I am trying to tweak the time. I'm trying to push them a little bit for a couple of weeks at least, just so that I can get still big plants, but not too big for the roots to be fighting for space. So we'll see how that goes. I have these 5x5 containers that I'm using from Bootstrap. These guys right here, I don't know if I can show you, but they have drainage holes at the bottom. And then I have one bottom tray that where I can move them around, and I can just bottom water when needed. I am going to be using regular masking tape to label each container. I mean, with coleus, it's going to be really easy for me to spot which one they are, but at least I'll know that way. So I'm going to start with Mighty Mosaic. I came here the other day and I had a bunch of packages, and I just grabbed all of them in one container. So this is probably the variety that I am going to be growing the most. Let's see. And these are pelleted seeds, so I can easily see where they land. That's helpful because I want to space my seeds here, preparing them for dividing them later. So I don't just want to empty the container here in one spot. I want to make sure that I place them as far away from each other, so that when it comes time for them to grow and develop, then I at least have some space. That's all of my Mighty Mosaic, I believe. So these are all my Mighty Mosaic seeds, pelleted seeds. I am going to go with a layer of vermiculite, just like that. And I am going to give them a little bit of water. I'm going to use my hand sprayer to give them a little bit of water. Now, I don't have that many of chocolate mint. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to mix my Lime Delight with my chocolate mix here. For some reason, I thought that I had way more than this, but I guess I didn't. You know what? I'm actually going to go and do some of this red. I think that I will since I have the space. Now, for those of you wondering my system for watering the seedlings here in my inside grow room, this is the hand sprayer that I use. I got this from Home Depot. It's by Scott's, and it's the one with the green handle. Now, I mentioned the green handle because this is probably my favorite handle that I have found works really, really well for me. And this is the one that I use for everything that needs a little bit of a gentle sprayer. And depending how much I push on the handle here, it's going to be the force that the spray comes out. And I don't really need anything too strong. But from the past videos where I have shown you, or when I'm showing you how to grow whatever seeds I'm growing, and if I water my seedlings, I had a few people that had been wondering, you know, what kind of hose, what kind of sprayer. This is the one, I believe it's about $20, something like that. This is a 2-gallon because even though I don't have that many seedlings going here at once right now, here in the next, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks, this place is going to be full of seedlings where I'm just going to be using this all the time. So that is it for this video, you guys. I hope that if you're starting Coleus or if you're starting Verbena bonariensis, you still have plenty of time. My room here is nice and warm. Things grow really, really quickly. So that's why I'm pushing it a little bit and a little bit longer each year. Hopefully this video was helpful. Thank you for being here, you guys, and I'll see you on the next time.